definitely open-ended.
And we're going to give people a chance to listen to it right now because we're going to roll this in a matter of seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nicki Kris, and this is her latest, which I think you'll find is an interesting, creative, and fabulous cross. It's kind of a mashup of a good, solid pop rock sound that all of a sudden just gives you that bold James Bond feel. Very Bondish, and I love it. Nicki Kris, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be talking again soon, I sure hope. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is with Undone.
Can be said when we no longer talk. We reach the end, our love's about to fall. And I question if it was ever meant to be. And the answer's not what you expect from me. I'd rather let it burn, 'cause that's just how the world turns. And after all is said and done, the simple truth is that we've come undone. Unwinding everything we built from the start. There's no answer if your heart was ever true. My question, did my love belong to you? I'd rather let it burn, 'cause the world just never learns. And after all is said and done, the simple truth is that we've come undone. My eyes are open, but I'm not always. A double-edged sword that cuts both ways. Let it all burn and walk away. All the lies you whispered from the start. You broke down all the walls around my heart. I'm a prisoner trapped inside the dark. Heartbeats burn as we come undone. 'Cause the world just never learns. And after all is said and done, a simple truth is that we come undone. My eyes are open now, wide awake. Running from the past, now I can't escape. Let it all burn and walk away. All the lies you whispered from the start. You broke down all the walls around my heart. I'm a prisoner trapped inside the dark. Watch it burn as we come undone.
Undone. That's Nicki Kris. What'd you think, John Bon Jovial?
That's great. You're right. It does have a James Bondish flavor to it. That is terrific. Love it.
It is. I really love the way they were able to weave that James Bond feel into a pop rock tune. Also love the fact that we've got an old friend from the other side of the pond standing by. Mr. Clint Slate will be with us in about 3 or 4 minutes, right after we check out his tune called Sixth Trip plan.
Hypothesize. The trainer's captain, double bluff fundraising, revoiced men, privacy, double digit seat, double the strange to buying the freedom. When any emotion stops screaming.
There you have it. Clint Slate. That's called Six Trip Plan. That's an unusual title. I think we should have Clint come in here and talk about that. How are you doing, Clint?
I'm very fine, and you?
Just fine and dandy. Now, let's see. First off, you're on the other side of the pond, right? You're over there in France?
Yeah, totally. I'm in Paris.
In Paris, okay. I wasn't sure exactly where you were, but I remember you were over there, and we're so glad you have the time to sit and talk with us for a little while and share your music. Tell us about this song with the unusual title.
The six-trip plan. Well, actually, I tend to say that I co-wrote this one with luck.
Okay.
The whole new album came because we were in a lockdown in Paris, and
Right.
I needed to find something to occupy myself and stay a bit sane. You know,
Sure.
I'm already way insane, so just the tiny bit that's left.
In this
you know.
business, that's not surprising.
Yeah, tell me about it. So I found this idea that I had time enough to on my hands to try some things I've read about with David Bowie called the cut-up. And
Okay.
the cut-up, in a nutshell, is an old technique, a literary technique dating from the Surrealists in 1920, something like this, where you cut a newspaper or something you wrote down on a piece of paper, you put it in the bowl, and what you grab from the bowl, you paste and glue on another sheet of paper, and it gives you sentences and words that are and bizarre, you know, and full of images. And Bowie did it, and Dylan did it, and William Burroughs wrote whole books with this technique. And I wanted to use it for quite a while because I wanted to get away from my habits in a way and see what could come out of it.
Sure.
And so as I had time, I decided that I would do this and something close to this for the music too, saying that I would be more spontaneous than I was, that I've been until then. So every time I had an idea on the guitar, I would just record it, give it a name, a random name taken from the name of the distortion or the reverb that was on this precise
Sure.
melody that I just recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, for instance, was called Double because the first bit of guitar that I found was something that's now in the middle eight that this is just two chords doing do-da, do-da, do-da. That was just this. And I sent this to a couple of friends of mine, a drummer and a bass player, saying you can send me 3 takes of what it inspires you. Just try to think outside of the box and don't do what you would usually do. Be free.
Sure.
It's just an exercise in freedom. And they sent me some things.
It's an amazing way of doing things. I had heard of that a long time ago, and it's been long enough that I had forgotten about that concept. But it's a very, very special way of, as you said, going outside the box and getting away from your own tendencies and finding new things that you are comfortable creating. John Bon Jovial standing by. I can tell he's just itching to jump in here. What you got, John?
Yeah, I got to scratch the itch. Clint, welcome. It is great. Yeah, it is great to have you here. And, you know, it's funny that you mentioned David Bowie just now, because while Bowie didn't pop into my head, while I was listening to Six Trip Plan, the thing that struck me was the, for lack of better words, I guess, a mid to late 70s Euro influence in the tune. And I know as soon as you mentioned David Bowie, you know, I got the connection because, of course, I know that he did a lot of that as well. Now, was this a primary motivator for you to create the music that you have, or was this just something that, well, Bowie's got nothing to do with it in my thought process, it just kind of happened?
Actually, on this one, it's not really Bowie, it's more the Police. Because the track really came when I received the bass riff. When I received that, I thought, okay, I have to construct the song around this. And the first thing that worked with it was some kind of reggae pop stuff. And I thought, okay, let's